Okay, so now you've heard of Linux, and what's the next step? Well, I'm here to show you the next step. A lot of the times, what I hear is it's very hard to pick your first distro for Linux. So let's talk about that. Now, what is a distro? In Linux, there are many different distributions, or distros for short. All of these distributions are Linux, but they have different quote-unquote flavors. Think about it as ice cream, right? Every single ice cream flavor is ice cream, but they have a completely different experience. You have chocolate or vanilla or mint chocolate chip, all sorts of things. And in Linux, there's pretty much the exact same thing. There's Zorin OS, Linux Mint, Arch, Fedora, Ubuntu, and so many others. So how exactly do you choose the first one? How do you know which flavor to start with? Well, here is a wonderful video talking about how to choose your first distro, but that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to show what distro would work for most of you guys. Now, in my previous video, I asked everyone what distro should I use, and as expected, I didn't get one single answer. But that's kind of the beauty of Linux. There's so many different options. There's something out there for everyone. And what I originally was going to do is spin a wheel, but I don't know, I just wanted to choose one. And my first thought was Fedora with KDE Plasma. The reason why I was leaning towards that one is because for me, that seems like the best option out of all the videos I've seen. And that just seems like one I've really enjoyed. And so I could start out with that one, but I don't really think I should. What I ended up going with is one called Zorin OS. And this one is supposed to be a very Windows-like distribution. Now, I hear what some of you might be thinking. If you hate Windows so much, why choose one that looks like Windows? And the answer's a little complicated, but the reason I'm choosing one that looks like Windows, while Windows might not be perfect, is because people are used to Windows. And I feel like a lot of the things with Linux is people don't understand that it's a new operating system, right? You have to learn it brand new like every other operating system. When you go from Windows to Mac OS, you aren't just going to know everything about Mac OS right away, and yet people don't hate on it as much. But then as soon as people switch over to Linux, they complain about things being different. They complain about the file system being different. They complain about everything being different, which makes sense because that's something that you're not used to. It's a new operating system. Everything you do has a learning curve, but it's an operating system. Everything that you do every day has a learning curve. If you use editing softwares or even how to play a game, I mean, you don't just pick up the game and are perfect at it. You have to learn it and all the time. But do you complain that you have to learn a game again? Not really. I mean, some of you might, but most of us don't. So how am I going to be doing this? How am I going to install Linux? Well, if I'm going to be honest, I haven't done any research, so I have absolutely no clue. But that's kind of the whole point. I want you guys to come along with me so I can show how it is. I bought these flash drives right here, and I just bought these specifically for this. Both have 64 gigabytes. I don't think you need that much, but that's what I've got. Now, I talked about dual booting in my last video, but that's probably not going to be what I end up doing. So let me explain. So this right here is my PC that I use in my everyday life. As you can see, I've got the recording. I've got my other camera up there. And these are my monitors and everything. This is the computer that I've done all my work on ever since I built it, okay? And recently, I might have bought my mom's old computer. And I bought this from her specifically to install Linux on it. Now, I could just install Linux on my PC, but when I have a whole new PC right here just for me to use with Linux, I don't see why I shouldn't do that. And the nice thing about that is since I have two monitors, I can show Windows right along with Linux at the exact same time. So that's also what I'll be doing. So let me set up that computer to this monitor real quickly, and then I'll get back to you. Alright guys, we got my mom's permission. It's go time. I just wanted to ask her to make sure she didn't forget to take anything off. But looks like we are good to go. So let's get to it, shall we? The first thing I actually wanted to do is, weirdly enough, reinstall Windows on my mom's computer. Well, it's mine now, but it's my mom's computer. And the reason I wanted to do that is because I just want to show what the installation process looks like. So I'm going to do a factory reset, and then I'm going to go through all the steps of setting up Windows, and we're going to do like a little time test of how long that takes. So yeah. Now, I don't know how easy this is going to be with Linux, but let's just see how it goes from there, okay? So it took about 20-ish minutes to do the restart. I don't know whether that counts for anything. Now I'm going to start a timer for actually installing Windows and seeing how long that takes, because they make you go through a lot of steps that really don't make any sense to me. But well, I asking for your location 6 times, and I only know that because the other day I was installing it on my mom's laptop, and it asked for the location 6 times in a row in the course of installing it. So we'll see how this goes. From the United States, not that you need to know that. Okay, next. Checking for updates. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we'll have to add however long that took me to get through that. But okay, let's just say it's starting now, because entering in my Wi-Fi, that's not that important. Why? Are you serious? Oh, look it. They're forcing me to do this. Do I have to? Yes, you do. Oh, wait. Sign in options. Never mind. Yeah, you have to. Getting things ready for you. I'm trying to speed run this, but it's taking a long time. Oh, skip. How many times are they going to ask me to pay for something? I already bought this operating system. Finally, it took 40 minutes. Okay, so we know it takes 40 minutes just to install Windows. When we first saw that screen, when you buy a laptop, when you buy a computer, that's exactly how it comes to you, and that's how long it takes to set up. 40 minutes. And that's with me already knowing all the questions it's going to ask. So if you have to take a little time to read them and know what you want to do, or even buy any of those other things, that's going to take you, 45 minutes? So that's insane. 45 minutes to install an operating system. Every time we get a laptop or a computer or anything, my least favorite part is setting it up, because it takes 40 minutes, as you just saw, to set up a Windows computer, which is just super annoying. And then when my parents don't know how to do it or anything, I have to set it up for them. I've gone through that screen a million times, and it always takes a long time when it really shouldn't. I don't know what takes it so long, but we'll come back to this when we have our Linux installation and see how long that takes us and everything like that. The next thing I'm doing is going to Zorin OS, and then you can just press download Zorin OS, and then you can press download, and then the core. And the only reason I'm doing this on my computer and not the computer we just reset Windows on is because I don't have OBS on there. So I'm just doing this so you guys can see, but otherwise I would say just do it on your computer. You don't need a separate computer to download the thing on. So what I can do is take my flash drive, and then on here we go flash from file, and then we go into my downloads, Zorin OS, open that, select target, this thing right here. That's the thing I just put in. Select and then press flash. Yes. And then it's going to go ahead and do that real quickly. And now that is done, we can close that out. And then we're going to switch over to the other computer. At this point, I realized there was something wrong with my mom's computer. Before I even tried to put Linux on there, it was having a problem. It just wouldn't boot. It got stuck. It had red lights on the motherboard, and everything was just going wrong, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. So after about an hour and a half of troubleshooting and talking to ChatGPT and looking on Reddit and everything else involved, I finally got that fixed. So it's an understatement to say I was super relieved when I could finally get that fixed so I could actually start working on Linux. Can you guys see that? We're in. What just happened? I didn't even get time to press anything yet. Is it okay? I think it's booting Zorin OS. I didn't even get to press anything. I don't know what's going on. I think that's the Zorin OS logo. Zorin. Let's go. It seems like it's going pretty smoothly. I mean, it's a lot more pleasant than the Windows install. But I'm probably just biased, so we'll see how the rest of this goes. Installing system. Let's see how long this takes. I mean, already immediately it's going a lot faster than Windows, unless that progress bar is broken. But yeah, it's looking good so far. Installation complete. Restart. Yes, please. I like that they put the Zorin logo right under like the BIOS thing. Oh, remove the installation medium. It is removed, and press enter. Yeah, I like that they put it so I know what OS I'm launching into right under the BIOS menu. I think that looks pretty good. And there we go, guys. That's it. It didn't even take a full 7 minutes. Okay, I'm recording this behind the camera because we don't have OBS on here, so bear with me while we get this done. Welcome to Zorin OS. Okay, so they're going to give us a tour, it looks like. Sure, start tour. Open the menu to launch apps. Okay. Choose your desktop look with a different Zorin experience. Oh, okay, so we can get Lots of these different things. Okay, we'll go through this later. Next, connect your online accounts. Okay, so we'll do that later. We'll do that later. Here, let's launch this software and let's look for OBS. Where is the search button? Is there not a search button on here? OBS. Oh, OBS Studio. Let's install that. Okay. While that's installing, let's finish our tour. Next. And this says, that's it. We hope you enjoy Zorin OS. Wow. I mean, that was really, really easy. I mean, we got the background on there. Our mouse works fine. We got the settings open. Like, it looks like a cleaner version of Windows, honestly. Let's see if I like that it's like slightly transparent, but for me, I personally like fully transparent. So I'll have to check if we can get that to work afterwards. But I will pick up the recording once this OBS installs right here. Open. Start recording. Okay, it's recording like this. And then let's see, where's our file? Oh, files, videos. Oh, it's there. Okay, that was incredibly easy. Okay. Let me start the recording on my computer then, and then we'll get this. We'll talk about this in a second. Oh my goodness, guys. Okay, so that took me about like 3 seconds to set everything up. I just added that. It was I don't know, on Windows, I'm always kind of having some sort of problem with getting any of this working, but it just worked instantly on here. I mean, I have, like, you can see I got the screen recording right here, and I literally just plugged in my camera and plugged in my mic, and it literally just started working. Didn't have to install any programs, didn't have to do anything. Look at this. My mic's working, my camera's working right here, and yeah, okay, so let me actually plug in my other monitor, and let's see how that works with it as well. Okay, so it was just frozen, and that was my bad. Okay, so now you guys can see I have actually 2 screens set up, and I can turn on the second screen, and there's my OBS, and this is my normal screen. Let's work on our appearance. Theme. Oh, okay, I kind of like this. Does this also change does it also change the theme? Okay, it does. So it also changes the theme of that when you're doing your thing. Your thingamabobber. Dark mode. Oh. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Oh, and it's even got like accents on it. Okay, I'm kind of liking this blue vibe right now. I like that you get this black background. I mean, like it changes the background. That's pretty cool. With that super easy installation out of the way, I kind of got distracted. So as you know, I set up OBS, and then I set up my theme, and then after that, I kind of forgot I was recording and just started doing random things. So what did I do after that? Well, I was kind of sporadic and went all over the place. I downloaded Steam, tried playing some games, and while the games launched and they didn't run perfectly. And now that's not because of Linux, so don't be concerned about that. My mom's PC was never built for gaming, so it doesn't have a good GPU at all, and it just really doesn't want to run anything. Now, I launched Minecraft and I was getting about 20 frames a second, and you could say that's really terrible, but that's with no mods. I use Prism Launcher, which a lot of people really like, but I was having a weird input delay with my mouse, and that was really bugging me. Plus, I'm not a big fan of Minecraft launchers. I just like using the default launcher. So I ended up downloading the Fabric API, installed my mods, the same thing I would do on Windows, and then actually got it running very nicely, and it was an enjoyable experience. I also played some 3DS games. I played Pokemon Black, and I actually put like a few hours into it because I was having a lot of fun. And you could argue you could do all these things on Windows, and yeah, that's kind of the point. I was just doing stuff that I would do on my normal computer, and I actually had a really great time, and I didn't have to worry about, oh, how do you do this? Oh, how do you do that? It just worked. And with Zorin OS, since it's actually pretty popular, it's the same thing with Windows. With Windows, you search up something, like if you don't know how to do something in your settings, you can just do a quick Google search. And you can do the same exact thing on Zorin OS. But the funny thing is about Zorin OS is that I found myself getting an answer a lot easier because the community is a lot more helpful rather than having to sift through a million people having the same problem on Windows and no one having an answer. Overall, I was very, very impressed with Zorin OS. So, as I said earlier in the video, I'm going to show you some things in Linux and then show you some things in Windows and how they work side by side. Because if you couldn't tell already, This OS is supposed to work very similarly to Windows. So real quickly, let's just show some of the differences between Windows and Zorin OS. All right, our first category is actually customization. So you're on your computer, you want to change your theme, light, dark mode, the backdrop, and so here's how we do all of that. You're on your home screen, and you can just press the Zorin OS logo, just like the Windows logo, press on settings, and then press on appearance, and then there's this other pop-out menu that you can press. Right here, you're gonna have your theme, like light, dark mode, and some other accent colors if you want to do that, as well as the option for having a timer for when it changes to light, dark mode. You also have your option to change your different mouse cursors and everything right here in this menu that says other, and then you can press X on that, and then right there, back where we were originally, you have your background. All these other images you can press as basically the default backgrounds that you can have. You can choose between them, and then if you wanted, there's this add picture button. You press that, you select your screenshot or your picture or whatever you want to make your background, and then you press on it, and then press on it again. It makes it a backdrop for your computer, and that's a really nice feature. Some other customization options that you have are which ones show up when you're searching up an app on your computer, notification settings, and some other apps, like your defaults and everything like that. And then you have your power for if you're on a laptop, you want to control like the power usage it has, sound controls over here, and then your display settings right here, as well as Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and everything like that. For Windows, the process is very similar. You're going to go to your taskbar, then press the Windows, then setting, and then you're going to head over to personalization. You're going to head over to colors, and right there, you're going to have your light mode, your dark mode, and then you have some colors right there that for accent colors, like the blue button right next to that on switch. You can see right there, it changes colors when I select the color. If you go back a page, press on background, you can choose the defaults just like on Zorin OS, or choose your picture, and right here my Windows computer stopped working. Something was going on with the settings. It wouldn't let me choose the background image, and it wouldn't let me change the background. I'm not sure exactly what went wrong here, but it was very frustrating. After multiple resets and troubleshooting, eventually it came back and I could choose my thing, but that was very weird and very annoying. Windows just decided to stop working and not let me choose the picture anymore. That was very frustrating. You see I press on picture, nothing happens. It was just a big mess. I never had a problem like that on Zorin OS, and I've never even had this problem happen on Windows, so no clue what actually ended up happening here. Pretty annoying, but eventually I got it fixed later in the day. And then the next thing is that we're going to be doing is just using a browser. That's really simple. You just press on the little logo at the bottom, just like on Mac OS or Windows, and you can just search up anything like YouTube, and it works just like that. Super easy, super intuitive, just like every other program out there. For the files in Zorin OS, you can just press the file button on the bottom on your taskbar, and you're going to have all your different sections. You know, you have your desktop, documents, downloads, music, everything like that, all your files set up. However, your trash can is actually on the bottom right here instead of on your desktop. But if you go into your files, you right click, you can also press the move to trash button. But then if you go into your trash can and you right click on the file, you can see you have the option to restore or delete it, as well as the option in the top right to empty your whole trash can. For files, they work the exact same way as on Zorin. You're just going to press the file thing. You can see all your files depending on the section you're in, downloads, whatever. You press the delete button, they get deleted. In your trash can, you're going to see ones you recently deleted, and you can also empty that at any time or restore your files from there. Our next section is for people who are always asking, oh, how do you do graphic design and how do you do video editing? And I'm not going to talk about GIMP because I'm not a big fan of GIMP. I know it's free and open source and everything like that, and that's very easy to install on Linux, but I'm going to show a few others on here actually. So let's just go along and do that. You're going to open up your web browser. I'll leave a link to the downloads in the description, but basically you go to this website. They ran Affinity on Linux, and you just download the app image that they have right here. You press on this link, you go to the GitHub, you download it, and then you can just double click it like on Windows and open the file. I actually created a little image in Affinity on Linux to make sure it worked. And while I'm creating that, let's just take a second to talk about what Affinity is. So for those of you who don't know what Affinity is, it's another graphic design app like Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, and Adobe InDesign all into one app. They used to be 3 separate apps that you paid for once and you didn't have to pay for again. But since Canva owns them now, they actually made it free. And all 3 apps are in one app, so it's actually super duper nice. You'll see on the top there's vector, pixel, and layout, and those are all different things. You have vector for like your Illustrator, your pixel as in like your Photoshop, and then layout as in for InDesign. I've created all the thumbnails for my channel and for other channels all in this program. It's a super great program. It's super responsive. Like I said, now it's free. They said free forever, and so it's really nice. And I'd recommend you guys trying it if you haven't tried it before. It's just as good as Photoshop and everything like that, and it's super awesome. You guys should definitely check it out. The next thing we did actually was download LibreSprite, and once again, you just search up LibreSprite, you go to the GitHub, you press download, and you can double click it to open it. For those of you who don't know what LibreSprite is, it's a software for creating pixel art. It's just like Sprite, and back in the day, they actually worked with Sprite to make it a free open source software that got ported. And Sprite still works just the exact same way, as you'll see in a second. LibreSprite is free and open source, and right here you'll see I just made a file real quickly and then just drew a little something to show that it works and everything like that. It's a really nice program. It works really well. And same thing with Sprite. Sprite is the original version, and you can still buy it on itch. It has a Linux download there as well, and both work the exact same way, and they both work just as well on Linux as they do on Windows. And then lastly, the final thing that we're going to be installing is DaVinci Resolve. Zorin OS actually has their own help page for this. You download DaVinci Resolve from DaVinci like normal. You press the Linux download, and then you go to this web page, which I'll leave in the description again, and it's basically this thing that patches the files to make them work on Zorin OS specifically. And then once that's downloaded, you're going to extract that, put it into the same folder with DaVinci Resolve, and then just like that, you can run DaVinci Resolve from your computer. You could either search it up or go into your sound and video section on your Zorin OS and then launch it from there. And as you can see, it opens, it runs, it works, and it's really great. For opening up all the files on Windows, you're just going to press the Windows bar. You're just going to press the search button, and then you can search up what you want, like Sprite, just like it did on Linux. Same thing with LibreSprite. And this is Affinity. You can see I designed the thumbnail for this video right here in this program. It works really well. I think you guys should definitely try it, but obviously it works. It works on Windows. It was designed for Windows. And DaVinci Resolve is the same exact story. I edited this video in DaVinci Resolve on Windows. I'm always editing my videos in DaVinci. I was actually shocked at how similar Zorin OS was and how good it was. So where does this leave us? I mean, you've seen me install Zorin OS and seen me install Windows, and you've seen how they compare to each other, what works on Windows and how to do the same exact thing on Linux. So what is there left? I've had some time with this OS, and I think I can say who it's for. If you're on Windows right now and you love how it works, you love everything, but you hate the direction Microsoft's going, this OS is perfect for you. If you're on Mac OS, I also think it's a good option for you. If your goal to moving to Linux is just to replace what you have, I think Zorin OS is a great choice. A great choice that I won't be sticking with. And why is that? I'm going to be honest. A small part of that reason, it's still a part, but a small part of it is if I just pick that OS and never move on, that's it. There's no more content to make. There's no more showing the world of Linux. But the other thing is, Zorin OS is great at what it does. It replaces Windows, and that's beautiful. It works perfectly, and if that's what you want, it works for you. But I don't want to just replace Windows. I want to find something better. Now, some of you could argue, just because it isn't made by Microsoft, even if it does the same things, it is better. And I'm not disagreeing with that. But what I want is something that I can customize to the fullest extent. I want something that when I open it up, I'm just like, wow. If I installed Zorin OS on my computer, which I did, I could boot it up and not have to think twice about the OS. It works the same as Windows, and you don't have to put any thought into using it at all, which for some of you is perfect. I'm actually blown away at how nice Zorin OS is. It's weird. You think Windows is super bad and annoying and you just want to get rid of it. And then you download Zorin OS and you're just like, wow, so this is what Windows could be. You don't find yourself missing anything Windows can do. You don't sit there and be like, oh, I wish I could have Windows back. You're not struggling to learn anything either. Because like I said, it all works very similarly. And I think that's the beauty of Zorin OS. I think Zorin OS is a perfect choice for the majority amount of people who just want to replace Windows. I'd like to thank you for making it to the end of the video. As you know, my last video launched in November, and I've been making videos since 2017, actually. And over the course of those years of making YouTube videos, I've always had one problem. I've always tried to make every single video I've made perfect. So when I restarted this channel and made a video and it got 20,000+ views, it blew up. More views than any of my other videos I had combined. I really got worried. I was worried about making a perfect video again. Now, as you might notice, this is getting uploaded, hopefully, on the last day of January. It's been 2 full months since I made my last video. And the reason is for that is I just started procrastinating. I got super worried about making a perfect video, and then I just couldn't bring myself to do it because of fear of not making it perfect. So I set myself a deadline, January 31st, and currently it's the 29th. So that doesn't give me much time to finish recording this video and editing it, but that's what I need. So going forward, I'm going to set a goal for myself. My plan is to make a video at least every month, and if not, more often than that. And that'll help me not worry about making my videos perfect. That doesn't mean I'm not going to try. That doesn't mean I'm not going to put all my effort into my videos. It just means I'm going to focus on improving one thing after another. If I just focus on improving one aspect every video, like Mr. Beast says, I think that can go a long way for me. I'm not going to try to perfect every video like I have in the past. So sorry about the wait, and thank you for watching. I hope to make a lot of good videos this year. I also have some plans for videos this year about trying other distros and even Linux on a handheld like this. Like, Linux is on this, and it works really, really well. And even something like this, and I have some good videos planned that I hope you guys can stick around for. This video's kind of dragging on at this point, so I'll probably just end it here. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think about Zorin OS, if you'll be trying it or if it's not really your style. If anything, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.